Lower tunnel section. coldzera holds himself up. And Fur falls there during the process. Oh, look though, how coldzera's patience is there. Kickert is though able to pick him up. Stewie as well as Fallen are the only two defend the aggression, and Fallen's accuracy has fallen a little bit off there. The right timing, Krisen arrives, 80 HP left on Fallen. He suddenly starts to get in a tricky situation. Fallen takes it out though. That's a 2K coming from him as well as coldzera. The 1-0 start for SK Gaming is secured. As Demasik and Co, they couldn't find themselves any kind of success in that certain bit of the aggression. We're gonna see right now that one from SK giving pretty much opportunities to go for the classic for you. We all know it. It's nothing too crazy about it. With that 1-0 being there for SK, AVANGAR, they're focusing themselves as short, very obviously. The question is, can they work with that? coldzera onto one, Fallen onto Krisen. There's no way. This is not going so easy for them. coldzera lifting off another head. And there we got ourselves the classic. The normal. The 2-0. Sinister it is for AVANGAR. Now Stewie is there to become a running man. He doesn't find himself anything in that situation. The Glocks are taking him out. The MP9 now successfully landed in the hands of Buster. Fur has no problem to close it out there with just an extra one. Not the second. There it gets problematic. Krisen finds him with the P250. He was to be the only one alive. And for just Glocks, that was kind of lethal. For just Glocks, that was painful. The two CT players are falling. It means you just gotta reinvest. Again, this way you can really build up the greatest of an economy. They're taking their time. Zero's just waiting. He doesn't have the angle on Demasik yet. With that kind of patience. Could pay off for Dima. Because Bolts is fairly low in HP. The thing though is, you need to cross Demasik. When you're crossing, I'm sure coldzera is going to be fast enough to take you out. Demasik is now known, they're all coming. And with them all coming, that grenade works. Demasik finds himself bolts. How interested is he in coldzera? Can't do it. There's the MP9. Successful for the Brazilian. 3-0 and AVANGAR struggling in the first 3 ones. Now the real guns. The AKs, the AWP. In the hands of Jame and Co. You can't really allow yourself to deviate scoreline-wise from your opponent like that. I mean, the first half on Inferno was devastating for AVANGAR, and I think we can all agree that just should have never happened that way. Now AVANGAR needs to show us why they have picked this map and what they can do on it. coldzera getting kicker, but Krisen is there on the double already. The long control, well established. B is entirely free. But no one's checking that actively. Buster is the only one in the lower tunnels. He's not making a move towards that section. It would be beneficial. He would gain a lot of information with that, but he's too scared, of course. And so Fallen waits. The smoke wall. It's gonna land. Fallen with one. That bomb is down. That is crucial information to the team. That's just a decoy, Jamie. You need to hit your shots either way. Grab that bomb ASAP. Buster finds Stu, though. It gets tricky right now for Fur as well, which means Fallen has just 60 more seconds to hold them off. Buster's going for the Mollo. Buster's rotating into tunnels. Fallen is not interested in it, but that was the shot he needed to hit. He switches over to the pistol. Oh no, Fallen. Your opponent is not even having a gun in his hands. Then it's not the shot he's hitting. So unfortunate there for SK, as he could have turned it around, though it was looking down for him. But that's the way it sometimes goes. So it will be the 3-1. AVANGAR picking up the first round here as a terrorist, whilst SK Gaming had to do multiple investments from time to time. And economically speaking, that hurts. And so you're down to just this. AWP, Cold Zero doing a great job. That boost, coordinate together with Fallen, gives you the entry. Smoke pops there. Fur sitting in the top right corner. He has a quite good angle for the ZZ. He's surely going to be pre-fired. I could imagine that to be the case. But if anyone comes towards him, he has a really good angle to react, because it's close enough for the ZZ to do a good job. Jane doesn't see a thing. Short in the hands of Fallen, though, who's now making a lot of noise and showing presence together with Bolts. There comes the kind of aggression you don't want to have, but Short now in the hands of Buster and Co. Crizzen on the same page, finding Bolts as well as Fallen. Cold Zero on his own against Kicker, takes him out as well. Over long, there's a Crizzen to find. James is patient. They're all closing it out onto him. Fur with the flashbang. Oh, James, that was your shot, and suddenly you're letting your teammate die here. That's so unfortunate from the AVANGAR player. If James would have taken out Cold Zero, that would have been one casualty less on the AVANGAR side, and so the options would have looked way, way better in this. But as it goes, the 4-1 is there. Missed shot that sometimes results in this. Finding himself an aggressive Crizzen. When we take a look at it real quick, that's the maximum investment from AVANGAR. If we consider SK has no problem due to the fairly weak buy on the AVANGAR site, it will be 5-1. Besides that 5-1, well, then it goes better and better. It's 5-1, opponent on eco, 6-1 pretty much predetermined. And also being reset in the previous rounds. Your losing bonus is not building up, and that's ugly. It's disgusting when you have to play with it, and you really know you can't buy yourself up something in the next few rounds, and you have the problem that your opponent is running away with it. That's something we all know, even it doesn't matter if competitive matches or just casual ones. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. An uncomfortable feeling you don't want to be in. Buster gets himself one shot, gets himself another, can't connect onto a third. Would have been too beautiful there in the end. There's the pause called by Buster and Co. AVANGAR takes the timeout. (5-1). Cold Zero, by the way, if you kind of missed it. He's up on 13-3. Casual after 7 rounds. Oh, you know, just 13-3. How are you doing? Loved it to watch. It's just lovely. This is the Cold Zero we know. That's making SK looking so good right now. So, Crizzen, Demasik, and Co making the move right now over Short. But aggression now on Cold Zero's MP9 is going to go a tricky high RPM and accuracy combined with Fallen. That's no problem. Buster to be the last one. As expected, the 6-1 is on the boards. Not yet. I'm taking that back. Maybe Buster aces this. It's not impossible. You should never say never. Justin Bieber told me that. But as mentioned, there's a 6-1. AVANGAR's coming back with a buy. There's the AK in 3 times. An AWP onto Jane. And finally, Buster. The same standard issued rifle on the T sight. Does Dima 6 switch knives? Did I see that correctly? Okay, that's interesting. Either way, James, very aggressive, and that's something we have seen already on the previous maps. For example, Cash CT control, where he sometimes pushes for B. That's some aggression that could be punished easily, but when it works out, it's a massive reward you're getting from it. James and the Flame might not become best friends. Cold Zero hiding himself. If that sound cue would play, that would be beneficial. James is not there with the accuracy though recently. Just falling though, finds the opponent Opper. Music doesn't seem to expect that a Cold Zero is nearby. $50 more seconds. Bolts nose behind the smoke. He hides. Out of finding prison. Oh, he dinks him only. That looked like that move could have been rewarded. Stu just waits it out. Patience. Wait, Stewie. There's one more to your right, and you gotta find him. There he comes, and there he doubles it. Smart move. Stewie's patience. That has been 100% on point right here. Prison down to 12. That should be easily executed by the P250. A single body shot will do it, and Kultura does so. Man of that round, definitely Stewie. He's not giving away the control after that B site. Doesn't let his feels rule him. He's aware that the only thing he needs is the right timing. And he needs to look at his watch and say, okay, that seems to be the perfect moment to do it. And then he did it. As once more, AVANGAR comes in with the pistols. Cold Zero might have a very easy time in this. And for he's assisting there. Mid-control established. Krisen to be the one who comes through window, but still he has no hard time with this. Only kicker. And there it goes. Bomb at least down. That helps AVANGAR economically a bit. It's right now SK already having control over this half. Just letting you know, this is not just a casual map right now. This is AVANGAR losing control massively. That's something you don't really want to have on yourself. Kicker now going fast towards long. As fast as he goes, Steam6 finding himself a beautiful double. James here. Take down Fur as well, and Bolt's executed Stu on his own. That's right now a quick turn in Finks. There's Stu, gets a jumpy kicker. And as that 8-2 is now AVANGAR finding their way back into this. Possibly. I have to correct myself. Possibly finding their way back into this, because the dominance of SK Gaming, it doesn't stop right here. The problem that will, though, occur, if AVANGAR is able to also seal the deal on this one, then it will be 8-3, and SK have an economic problem coming in. They will be pretty much bankrupt, having not a dollar bill back left in their pockets. Actually seems, in case SK is not getting too much money out of this round and losing it as well, it'll probably be a double force. Having ourselves done. So Bolts finds himself Krisen, starting off good. Doesn't seem to be the initial situation where SK is going to lose the round. Not too much utility, though, they have left on the belt. We only see Stewie really carrying around much, as he's also the one with the kit in this situation. And if Cold jumps, You realize there's a team mistake. But I can imagine he just does a sick flick, as his name implies, basically. No jump to be made, no information to be gained. AVANGAR with the focus on middle. James will come through. Not meet anyone yet. It's still 40 more seconds to crack any kind of bomb site open. And coldzera's position right now needs to be a jumping hero, basically. He hears those stabs right now. Can he make it possible? Nah, he rather stabs off. Now he sees the players. coldzera onto one. Fallen could just wait it out a little longer. Finds himself Buster. Jane, the last one to be alive. But this guy has only 20 more seconds to retrieve the bomb. Put this one down. Maybe we see it quickly right here. Stewie, do it. Stewie. Disappointment and excitement. Over ramp he comes. He plays it safe, of course. Waits for Jamie. Gets him out. Lights out for the Russian. 92. And AVANGAR, well, they arrived at the party, kind of, but didn't bring the snacks and it didn't bring what they were asked for. SK Gaming up right now. We see very focused faces. coldzera talking a little bit to his right. Taking a look at Fallen. For having the right kind of angle to this. The smoke wall was a nice idea to get there into underpass. At 92 being the case, the double digits just a bit away. Not too much though, and it looks perfect right now. Fallen ripping off the hat off Crizzen in such a situation. Buster as well as James and Kickert. All the only few to make it all possible. And as we're seeing it, Fallen on the side together with coldzera. The spray's on point for him. And once more, it's a James on his own. As we're seeing it, I mean, it's looking kind of sinister for AVANGAR. I think we all can agree on that. James on his own with 25 more seconds doesn't have too much that he can do in such a situation. There he has now been spotted. He's known. $50 left in his bank account. There he tries to take down Stewie. He puts him down to 15. But that's all he's able to do. It couldn't be more unfortunate. Fallen, we're seeing him laughing right here. He's kind of happy about it. I mean, you've achieved just double digits against your opponent on the map pick. They have decided to play. And when you're achieving something like that, you're on the right track. Jane, though, with what kind of frag? He just took out Fallen here. Early. Easy. Casual. And lovely at the same time. When you have a buy round, you somehow can't take out Fallen. But when you got a scout in middle, easy. Not even a problem. With that being said, main focus set in the B apartments, which are actually the B tunnels. A little bit weird casting Dust2 again. First of all, you see Stu not seeing a thing, getting the shot onto Crizzen. As he's blind again, he's having a bit of a problem of finding players. First moving out, but Kicker is doing the right peek in his favor. Fur not stopping on one. Fur possibly... He was sick as well. He hunts him down. He just rushes towards him. And the great entry from James, and the second frag he got himself as well, is not making it possible. Portentous, ladies and gentlemen, and sinister at the same time. AVANGAR can't put up any resistance at that point in time, and they're just having a real hard time about this. Isn't burning away, trying to do it, and it seems for a moment, or it seems for a bit, there's just focus shifting away. You know, that they're not 100% there on the game anymore. Whilst it could be for Stewie, all doing the right job. This is not the best buy for AVANGAR, of course, but in general, It's just dominance. It's just pure dominance right now. What SK is delivering us. That 12-2. I mean, it can also develop over in a 12-3. But I can hardly imagine it will do a major change right now. 21-5 on a cold 0. 17-8 onto third. The players are right now doing everything right. And as we're talking about, bolts and falling. We're getting taken out from the player. Usually plays that position. Cold 0 hiding himself in the smoke again. From the right, then a Buster comes, and the assistance is there. Only Stewie alive. This barrel, there it goes. Demastic takes him out. That's the 12-3, and AVANGAR at least securing another one. At least they're here with another one. It's nice to have. I think that's the right term for it, but I can hardly imagine that there's going to be a change. SK, who are struggling and starting off weak on their own map pick, which was cash back then, are right now showing us what they're made of. They're right now showing why SK is not dead. Sure, Stewie, his recent addition and the recent changes on the team didn't deliver us the best of the tournaments. But give this team its time, and I personally think that SK might be on the top again. First of all, though, having Fur getting on top of Kickert as he takes him down. Crisant back on short. To be extremely cautious as the Brazilians are now making the move for middle. Stewie coming in from behind. Smoke pops. Buster is there to hold off the aggression. Do they find more than that? Fur finds Buster, but Demastic is there to at least get the bomb planter away from C to the players arrive. That's unfortunate. Demastic's aggression partially works. Stewie's being sneaky though. There he finds one, and there does he get himself Demastic as well. It's just a single bullet he has to pop in that head, not much more body shots he needs to do, but it's a headshot anyway. 13-3, and that's bad manner. But that's Stewie, right? On the other end, that's Stewie. So the 13-3 is secured. AVANGAR going for a double scout. And just hurts massively though. Stewie taken out. Fur finding James. AK now in the hands of Demastic. Zero doesn't hear any steps there onto short, but Bolts is there to react to revenge the death of his friend. So Buster, Risen, and Kickert, they're the free to hold up the momentum SK Gaming has gained the last few rounds, and that's something you really need to do right now. Buster staying back on the site, finds a flick there onto Baltimore, being fully blind there for the moment, so Crisant and Kickert need to do it. Up on the window, there's a Kickert. Just a centimeter he needs to move, and then he could find it. And he's taken out. Crisant to the last one in this situation. He has the AK. He has still 70 HP. That duel won by Fallen. So here we have it, 14-3, and the eco that should come in. But AVANGAR's probably not ecoing this. They're forcing through. They want to hold up SK Gaming as much as they can. After AVANGAR has beaten the Polish veterans of Virtus Pro, after SK nearly lost against Gambit, this is right now the point where Fallen and Cole can close it out to prove that they don't lose against teams some of you may never heard of. There comes the first, the second as well. Stu as well as Bolts are successful in finding frags. Demastic and Buster are having a bit of a hard time here with those scouts. As it's only Dima alive, he's being hunted, he's being taken out. That is the 15-3, and SK are dominating on Dust2, which is the map pick off AVANGAR right here. as we have ourselves that 15 free. Can AVANGAR pull this back? Can they really do it? Not starting good with Jay. Taken out by Fur right here. That A site taken in a matter of seconds, as no one is defending it actively anymore. Demastic out of the game. Still wallbang there, at least from Crizzen. 4 versus 3. Not impossible there for AVANGAR. It seems like Cookie has crumbled. Seems like the fate has been determined. Crizzen though, not having chance. All frags happening simultaneously. And let's take a look here. Yeah, SK Gaming, I would be as happy as them as well. They really needed to do that. They really needed to finally find a bit of success again. After recently not showing us the best results, there's finally a tournament they have once more won. So now coming down the stage. Do have some sound on this, but it's probably in Russian.